Kill anything interesting lately?
Actually, yeah, Cade. The other day I had this hunter come at me. After I already took his overshield off, he decides to come around and flank me. And as he's coming back up on me, he knows that my overshield's there. He decides to try and melee me. I popped 2 shots on him and dropped him. You know what? I love it when hunters just get overconfident like that. You know what? That gives me an idea, Cade. I'm not going to lie to you, being a hunter sucks because you have the least amount of resilience and the least amount of health recovery. So, when you peek, in order to get engaged into a gunfight, if you don't have an overshield, you need to make sure that you evade, especially on one-on-one occasions, unless you know that your gun skill is going to outperform the other player. Such as this situation right here where I have a warlock that decides to play some David Blaine shit on me. That's gun skill. In Destiny 2, mobility is the ability to strafe while walking. So strafing in a gunfight and moving is essential. And because the hunter has the most base stability, you have the best optimal chance in any gunfight. Movement to a hunter is key, especially when doing jumps and stuff like this, because your jumps don't go straight off and make you float. Your jumps, you can actually change direction in midair. So doing maneuvers like avoiding rockets, like right here. I move myself close enough to the wall enough to know that I'm not going to get any residual damage, and I win that gunfight. You have to stay moving in this game. If you're not moving and you get spotted by 2 or more players, you're going to get team fired and killed. Right here, I strafe my jump just enough to take this guy out with minimal damage. Because the hunter is the hardest character to play in Destiny, simply because of the disadvantages of you only having the best mobility, you need to stay grouped together. Now, if for some chance you do find yourself in a situation where you're going to get on a 1-on-2 gunfight, the best situation is one like this, to where one guy's not immediately looking at you at the time. So you're able to get the shield off of one. As they retreat, you're able to get the shield off of another. They retreat. Then you can also engage after that in order to get rid of the 2. If they're both looking at you, think of it this way. You're going to receive twice the damage in half the time. Now, 3-on-3 gunfights, you're going to receive 3 times the damage in a quarter of the time that you would with one person. And it gets even worse when you go against the whole squad. That's why the move to a 4v4 game set in Destiny was made, to help increase the actual gunfights that you do have one-on-one and reduce the chance of a random player coming behind you and ruining your day. As the hunter, you need to know when to evade. You need to know when the law of numbers is not on your side and move accordingly, as I did here. Now, I'm going to wait and clean up this kill. That's what the hunter's role should be. Cleaning up kills as you go. Avoiding getting into multi-person gunfights, because you may lose them. Very easily lose them. If your gun skill is above par, and gun skill is one of those things that the more you play and the more you get put into situations, the more that you learn. If your gun skill is above par, you may be able to pull off 1v2s a lot more often. The advantage that you have in this is the ability to strafe and move and be able to use the hunter's dodge in order to get out of certain situations. Now, other situations where the law of numbers is going to be against you is such as supers. The supers in this game have been dialed back a little bit as far as the amount of times that you can get them in a standard match. You could expect to get them at least once in a match, but to get them 2 times, you have to be putting in work. You have to be putting in damage. You have to be capturing objectives. Now here, I end up losing my shield, and look, I'm almost dead. So at this point, I'm just firing to move this person back and to try to evade and allow my health to recover. At this point, I see that I'm in a 1-on-2. I'm not going to win that gunfight. Look how much health I've already lost. I already lost my overshield. So again, you have to follow the law of numbers. Pick your gunfights accordingly. Try not to be caught in open spaces with multiple enemies looking at you. The one character, and a lot of people may disagree with me on this point, the one character that is going to be the most effective when it comes to flanking in this game, in my opinion, is going to be the hunter. Because if your main fire team is pressing the other fire team and their concentration is put on your teammates, you're able to flank and pick up those kills. It all depends on the fire team. It also depends on if you're playing sweaties, or basically players that are playing really try hard, really good players. Players that play together all the time and communicate. If you find a group in a lobby on the other team that are all having the same clan tag, or you notice that they're all squatted together, or they run together, more than likely they're talking, and they know what they're doing. That's what I mean by sweaties. This game right here, I'm playing 4 random players with me and 3 random players on my side. So it's a little even. As a hunter, you need to know your role when it comes to your squad and the other players. Because the super for the gunslinger is basically 3 shots, 1 shot, 1 kill shots. You have to know that getting into that situation, you're going to have to make all 3 shots against 3 players. If the 4th one's there, it's going to leave you vulnerable, and you're going to get team shot if 2, 3, or 4 of them are looking at you at the time. With the arc staff, you have to know how to get in to where those people are grouped up together in order to be effective with it. The void bow can be very good when it comes to Trials of the Night and so on and so forth, but in my opinion, the best role to play when it comes to PvP is the gunslinger. Now, with the arc staff, you do get a speed boost, and a lot of people play the arc staff hunter with Mida multi-tool and the Mida mini tool just because it gives them a movement boost, it gives them a speed boost, which is fine. If that's the kind of character that you want to play, that's the way you've played it. I've played like that before too. That's fine. But in my opinion, the gunslinger is the best one to use. Also, I'm kind of partial to it. I like the throwing knife aspect of it. I get pretty good with it. So that's just my personal opinion. So like I said, know your role in that squad. If you're playing with a group that you play with normally, you're going to be in a much better position. Going in solo and solo queuing into lobbies that have people that are playing together is going to be hard to pull off with a gunslinger. The hunter, as I said, is the hardest character to play consistently and consistently well in Destiny 2. And it's made that way for a reason. Hunters are flashy. They're solo. They like to do things their own way. And that's the way that they are. You have to be good with the hunter in order to be effective with it. And as you can see with this game, when I played against 4 randoms, my efficiency was off of the chart. I went on a 10 kill streak, and I think my efficiency was like a 5 point something. Yeah, 5.25. I ended up going off. As far as PvP is concerned, there's only 2 exotics in my opinion that'll help you out no matter what subclass you're running on your hunter. There's the Knucklehead Radar and there's the FOETRACKER. Now the Knucklehead Radar, in my opinion, is probably the best one because the benefits that you get from it are through the entire game, the entire round of PvP. What it allows you to do is be able to aim down sights with any weapon and your radar stays active. So if you're pre-aiming down a corridor and you need to see that radar real quick to see if you're getting flanked, it's an excellent tool. The FOETRACKER will only help you if you've damaged a player. It will leave a red cross on their body and it will track them until they start to heal, and then it'll go away. So it is good to see if a player is going to decide to peek back out, so on and so forth. But in my opinion, the Knucklehead Radar is the one you should be picking between the two of these. That's my time for today. My name is Topher. If you like what you guys heard and you learned something new today, go ahead and give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Go ahead and give me a subscribe on this channel if you'd like to see some more content. I will be bringing some more stuff out about the Titan and the Warlock. And, as always, when you play Hunter, show off a little bit. It's a lot of fun. Later, haters.